Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utze. Tonight with exactly one match, and that's Portugal-Romania, the last match in Group C. And it's an impactful one because Romania more or less needs to win here. Well, not more or less, they need to win because if they lose, they are out of the tournament because their tiebreakers aren't great. And so any win for them, let's consider a 3-2 in their favor, would put them on 4 match wins in 5 games. And then for the tiebreakers versus other third place finishers, we would need to deduct their game versus the 6th place finisher in their group. And that's quite likely Lithuania, although it could be Portugal in the end if Romania would win big here. At least the result versus the 6th place finisher would be wiped from the record, and then Romania would have 3 wins in 4 matches played, and that's just very well because there's only one group in which this could be the case for the third place finisher, and that's Group B, and only these 4 in the top, although no, Russia, RCP not, only Germany, Poland and Italy could manage that feat if all 3 win their duels tomorrow. So any win by Romania would secure a playoff spot for them. And of course, Portugal would like to win their last game here, even though it actually doesn't do much if we just consider this tournament. But if we take next year or 2027 into consideration, a better placement this year might help getting in a better pot in terms of the draw to maybe get an easier group than this year, because this group is definitely a tough one, and so it's no wonder that at least Portugal and Mexico won't make it to the playoffs. It was quite a strong group. And then there's even Thailand, who managed to upset the more experienced squads in Portugal and Mexico this year. So, long talk. How about the games at hand? We have Mestre 77 versus Erwin G. This shouldn't take long, maybe 15 minutes, and the duel is done, given Erwin's speed, but we'll see about that. On this table 1, I'd actually say Mestre might be a slight favorite if he takes, if they take their time. On table 2, favorites definitely game over. Bogdan definitely is the stronger player there. Table 3, well, maybe in favor of the Romanian, but Sporter definitely is no slouch. And table 4 is just a great setup. This one, I guess, will be covered by Alexei. And table 5, I'd favor the Romanian as well. So, for now, let's check if they have started. They haven't. So it might just take a few extra seconds. Meanwhile, let me actually check another thing here and then refresh again. So any picks from you? Which game, which duel I should stream? Then say so. You have 20 seconds. No wishes so far. Well, then let's just take a look at table 1 for now and see if Erwin actually plays a bullet game or just a blitz game. All other games, as is usually the case in the corners. So it looks like it's a rather modest pace. Yeah, Master is taking their time, and I think that's exactly the right thing against Erwin. Just don't try to run. Play your game, take your time, find the best moves. So nice setup here for yellow with the stacked monasteries. Early lead on the scoreboard as well, although just 2 points. And blue did go for the attack from the right side, which was thwarted by yellow. And just got a splitter, which of course was perfect to mount the next attack from the left side. And he doesn't even protect up top, which I'm not sure is the best idea here in this case. Yeah, now Mestre. Missing a chance to build a larger ruin up top, at least more easily. Because I think leaving this city part open to the top would have worked better in the long run. I wouldn't expect Erwin to attack here and then in the end just flip for the 50-50. Although he might. Not really sure about his playing style in regards to city attacks. Yeah, Master just builds next to his monasteries, trying to liberate them as fast as possible. Right now, the field in the middle is not that great, so I wouldn't expect them to drop a farmer. Instead, just taking this 6-point road might be a move worth considering, although not taken lightly with only 1 meeple in hand. But if you supply a road end, I guess you have to take at least one of the 2 roads you created. This year, not really a fan. So if you think it's that necessary to attack or harass this rather measly city by your opponent, well, even if it's your last meeple, an empty city cap with still roughly 15 city caps in the deck, so 33% chance, or roughly 35%, whatever, to directly get your meeple back. Well, why not just put your last meeple on there? In addition to city caps, any regular curve or crossroads for that matter would get you another meeple back as well, and even a splitter if needs must. So bit more risk in that situation. And why take 3 points for road if there's an empty city cap? Well, 4 points. Just because you are fearing a block here. But there are still, two daggers out there, but then blue could go here and this indeed would be killed. Yeah, maybe that's okay. I really wouldn't defend here now. I don't think it's worth it. If there were still 3 road Doritos in the deck, maybe this here would be worth considering, but actually it's blocked so easily from the bottom to require a big city tile. Just taking the 4 points should be the best move. Yep, yellow created the evil hamster, blue takes it. Else this game would have been more or less over, but now it's tied. How about pre-closing your road? Still straights out there. Actually, yellow's orientation might even be the better one, because they are more likely to add another piece there. For example, the last remaining cow, and then take the road. Yeah, yellow opened a new city, but immediately blue attacked again, and now yellow is quite unlikely, even if they were to get a splitter, to use it here, because there are still 3, now 2 field Doritos in the deck. Yeah, it's interesting decision. Do you do this or don't you? So if blue now could defend here, they threaten to run away with this city and a 6-point road on top. Yeah, what to do as maestro now? Well, adding the splitter on the right side would limit this city to a 50-50. Else, you could have just waited, because there's only there's only one Dorito remaining, and you could have just waited and hoped for blue, for example, to draw a straight, which wouldn't have let them defend it here, just indirectly, and then hope to block this, because now you're flipping for 50-50 anyway. But with the prospects of blue's monastery, this actually isn't that great, because no matter who will get the cow, they should use it here, and meeple the field, because upon completion of the city it's worth 9 points at least. Maybe there will be another city with this Dorito here, even though that's rather unlikely, especially now that blue has blocked the prospects of the city. So for now, Mestre is slightly behind, and after these 4 points by blue, it's even more. So 6 points on the scoreboard, 6 points for blue's field. And considering the city points, oh, I missed the road by yellow. So actually, the game is tied. Now yellow should be ahead. Yeah, bummer they couldn't take this road. Blue takes another 6-point field. And gets this. Adds not just these points to their score, but also this huge city on both their fields. And another 6-point field, which should be enough for Erwin to win this. Yeah, and by 18 points in the end even. Yeah, tough luck for yellow, not getting one of the straights. I think Erwin drew at least these 3. Let's take a quick look at Sporta Girappa. Looks like both have still a lot of time on their clock, but only a few moves remaining. And Sporta successfully managed a field attack, gaining 12 points. Let's quickly count. So we have +3, +6, -2, +4, +7, +1, -3, +4 blue. Oh, let's see. +5 blue. No, +5 yellow. Oh man. Maybe I shouldn't count today. What did I miss here? Well, I don't get it. Well, let's get back to Master Erwin. And we just missed 15 moves. Wow. Nice start for yellow. Getting 3 monasteries. But these 3 monasteries are limited to a dagger. Still 3 daggers out there. So 87.5% chance to at least get one of them. Although You might need to wait a little. Let's actually check the waiting time here. Nope. This should be 0 and then it works. So roughly 10 moves on average. Here we go. This time it might take longer because blue just got one of the daggers. On table 5, Vitorino was able to win versus Tabado. So good news for Portugal. And in this year, blue with a juicy and big ruin because the square is dead, of course. Yellow attacks it. Even got a 4th monastery in the meantime, and now really should secure this space against another attack by blue. Even if this leaves 2 city caps empty. Yeah, and blue takes the other option, which definitely is a bummer for yellow because now they need a starting tile to block here, or at least a curve, because then there would only be the one remaining horse out there to connect. Perfect piece here now. Just taking 3 points, limiting a connection square of blue to a 50-50. On table 2, Licinio Ferreira won their game versus game over. So this is the 3rd duel in which the player from Portugal was able to win the first game, which doesn't bode well for Romania. Just as a reminder, they need to win this match. Yeah, so basically, yep, Erwin gets help from the deck by drawing the 2nd of 3 daggers, left-handed daggers that is. And he might actually need the 3rd one, or at least hope that yellow won't get this fast. Because with the 1 meeple yellow got in hand and here's the dagger, they were restricted quite a lot, weren't not able to attack the field by blue, which now they should. Maybe even up top here, going for a curve, for example. This way, of course. And here goes. Horse for blue, taking the juicy ruin. Now let me count. 14, 20 points, 19 points. So if yellow manages to tie the field, we more or less have a tight game. Interesting block by blue. All monasteries are gone, but there's still 1 vanilla cap remaining. So exactly 1 piece to go over here. Yeah, now yellow with a straight has to has to invest their last meeple. If there's still a curve out there. Which is a bummer then. They could have gone for it. 50-50. Field takeover for 15 points at least. This way they rely on drawing the last crossroad, and at least they do. So blue would only be able to connect on the left side, which they are now going for. As luck would have it, yellow gets a connection piece here. In the perfect situation. And now there's even the curve. But this 6 points for blue plus the 3 here will be all they need, because this ruin scores more than the 16 points of yellow's monastery. So in the end it should be Erwin's win by 7 points, so 6 points it is. So quick work here, 2.5 minutes. And we have Romania on the match scoreboard. If you would like me to cover a specific duel, as is always the case, just say so. For now, let's go back to Sparta Girappa. They seem to fight over a huge ruin as well. Although that's tight, so I'm not sure anyone has any incentive even completing this square here. At least not for now, because yellow would quite likely rather harass blue city with a big city tile. Problem for blue right now is not having a meeple in hand and getting this road restricted, although they did it themselves, so there must still be crossroads out there, and there are. Bad news though, yellow just got one. And well, there's still the quadruple crossroad out there. And not a lot of curves, but yellow could go for this move, even though this would restrict one of their meeples. It would definitely kill a blue meeple as well. Yeah, this one didn't work out, at least for now. Quite likely there could be a lot of daggers gone, and there are. So only one right-handed dagger remaining. Now the question for yellow is, do you need to attack here? Do you go for the block? Or do you just punt and use the piece elsewhere? In this case, let's check. Yeah, now going over here it is, of course. Is there still a connection piece? Yeah, there is, because blue got one. There's at least a vertical divider still remaining. How about other city plus road pieces to go over here? Actually, do we need to check that? Yeah, we might. So let's count. So we have starting tiles all gone. The roses all gone. The daggers all gone. Yep. So apart from... Nope. This square is dead. So blue has a ruin worth 10 points. An 8-point monastery, a 4-point road, which adds up to 22. Minus 3 on the scoreboard, 19, 16, 4. But yellow just scored at the bottom. So yellow should be ahead 7 points right now. And if I'm correct, then just taking the 6-point field should be everything they need to win this game. Let's count again. 11 points for blue, 19, 23, minus 7 is 16, 13, 1. Why the heck can't I count today? Yeah, there's another 6-point field, and no matter the count, yellow has won this one. Sorry, folks. Yeah, at least that is right. So, yellow with an 8-point win here. And equalizes the match. Score at 1 apiece. So let's take a look at Licinio Ferreira game over and try to assess if this is game over or not. And it looks pretty bad for blue here. 20-point lead on the scoreboard for yellow. Plus a large field with 18 points, which is under attack from blue. But yellow also has options to connect on the left side. In addition, yellow has another field which blue has attacked from the bottom, but blue would need a starting tile or rows to connect, which looks like it's still possible. 2 roses here. And only 2 starting tiles on the board. Is that really right? Yellow got another rose. And the third one is here. So no roses. Here's a starting tile to connect blue here. Yellow with another insurance farmer. But blue gets another starting tile, which doesn't actually help them because they need a second farmer to connect as well, and they just don't have the moves to do that. So this will be yellow's win, and with it comes the win in this duel as well. Adding the second duel win on the match scoreboard for Portugal. So Mars 15 and Tobago have to win their remaining games, and Tobago just did so on their table. They forced a decider just right now on the bottom right. So let's wait for the last move here. Yep. Nice find by yellow. Just adding 6 points to their score by removing 6 points from blue score. Because this here farmer on the right side didn't connect, and yellow had 2 farmers on their field now versus 1 from blue. So easy peasy, 20 plus point win, I guess. Yeah, 20 plus was an understatement. So quite likely 2 horrible games for game over, and it's game over for them. So let's take a look at Glovia Mars, and then I'll switch to, although I think Alexi will cover this one. Let me just check, and if he does, then I'll go to Vitorino Tabado. Yeah, so let's go to the decider now, and I'll switch the layout. So if you're more interested or would like to take a better look at Glovia Mars, that should be no problem because they will get more screen size as well. If I can manage my setup here, that is. Okay, here we go. Tournament situation in the bottom left corner. As I said, Romania has to win, else they are out of the running because their tiebreakers are just too bad. So this should work, I guess. Interesting configuration over here. Few small cities closed. No farmer as of right now because this field could be walled off more or less immediately. And I hope they'll play more laterally than vertically here. I hate vertical boards. Actually, so many roads here. There's not even a great monastery spot. Yeah, with so many meeples in hand, just go for the attack. There's really not a lot you could do else. Just prevent your opponent from getting their city closed immediately. Whoa, what? Where's the meeple? Why is there no meeple on this Dorito? Hello, Tabedo. I don't get it. 6 meeples in hand. Why don't you use them? Yeah, sure, there's the option of yellow drawing the splitter and then adding a big city tile here and you having to use a curve over there and boom, your city is dead, but you'd still have a ruin and it's quite unlikely that yellow would get the splitter here before you can manage to connect, that is. Yeah, well, now you have to fight for it and quite likely have to even attack it now. They don't. Okay. Yeah, I guess. There's still this option. So unless yellow were to add a Dorito. What? Some weird moves here. What is this cow? If you're gonna go for completion, well, add it here with a field side at the bottom. Hope to draw a Dorito before your opponent gets anything to obstruct you. Or maybe just don't use it here, but there to protect the city from attack. But as unwieldy as it is now, could have even opted to go here to build just a large ruin. Yeah. Nope, I'm not happy with this. So as blue quite likely would now go here. Like this. So this way, because then there'd only be one dagger remaining and the chances for yellow to still close this city would be negligible. But blue just goes for a simple loop road. The juicy city tile. Well, nope, I'm not happy. So let's just hope that Mars will win their game. So these two would need a decider. Let's actually quickly check. It looks at least to be reasonably close. Although this field here is 18-point field. That's tough for blue. They have a 10-point scoreboard lead. The features on the board slightly favor yellow. Well, not just slightly. The monastery over here is just great. And blue definitely needs to connect there and add another farmer as well, somehow. Maybe here could be an option. Yeah, this will be tricky for Mars. Very, very tricky, maybe even impossible. Meanwhile, Tobago got the perfect piece to close their road and extend their field to the left side, incorporating these two cities. This farmer might be a tad early, and given their reluctance of adding a meeple on this Dorito, not really sure why they no go for field. But if these two cities get closed, the field is worth the investment for sure. Yeah, on table 4, Mars is still thinking, iterating through all options. Still 2 minutes on the clock. But I think their problem is even by equalizing the field, they wouldn't win. Although they might be able to eke out a 1 point win. Now they've given up. So looks like Luvia will win the third duel for Portugal and seal the deal here. Kick out Romania out of the running for playoff spot. Yeah, meanwhile, these two cities got closed. Yellow, of course, meepled the farm here, but blue immediately countered. And is now hoping to connect. Oh, interesting. Pretty nice find here. There are still curves out there. So one over here, and you can unite these fields. Get 4 points. And could swallow then this farmer if these squares were filled. And be well secured against an immediate field attack threat by yellow, because then yellow would need to add 2 farmers. So this one is really, really nice by blue. There's no way for yellow with this iffy monastery up top to win the field, at least not the big field. They might be able to secure their secondary field, and if so, should have a good chance in this game. So I just take the 4 points now actually. You'd create another juicy monastery spot, and there are still 2 monasteries out there. So why not go for it and just try to win without the field? It might be possible. Yeah, but not if blue immediately gets one of the 2 remaining monasteries. That's a shame and a bummer for yellow here. I don't like that one. Maybe going for counter field might have been an option. I don't think they are still hoping to close this monster on the left side. Although it's still possible. There are still big city tiles and Doritos out there. City caps, though, we are running a bit short. Daggers, for example, are completely gone. So at least we now we know which pieces blue could use to totally block. Let's actually check how many cities are on that field by blue. So 24 points as of now. This field by yellow. Man, this field by yellow is equalized by blue's tiny fields here. These 2 monasteries are equal. So yellow has these 4 points up top. Yep, and blue just gets all the pieces they need. Taking another 6-point field. And yellow sure does go for the completion of the city. And why not? It's alive, and it right now really looks like they need to go for this. With all the farming points by blue, you need another big feature to compensate. Yeah, why not just take these 4 points? You have 2 chances to connect to yellow's field anyway, and it's I'd say quite likely you'd take this field over. Although at least the left option could be blocked like this to a 50-50 because all vanillas are gone and there's only one monastery still left in the deck, the Road Monastery. Yeah, quite likely blue has to attack now. Both splitters are gone. Not sure why they are thinking about this for so long. Maybe they thought about connecting at the bottom. And I think yellow surely has to play against one of these two connection squares now. And actually they could limit both to a 50-50 because if they'd go over here, there'd only be one Road Dorito remaining to connect there by virtue of all roses and daggers being gone. And they don't. They also not limit this one, which wouldn't have mattered really, unless they would have turned this one here with the city piece to the top, because all field Doritos are gone and this would have been a total block. Yeah. Now this is just scoreboard cosmetics. So 12 minus 3, it would have saved them 9 points. I guess these 9 points won't matter in the end. Yeah, not really. 29. So it's a 3-2 in Portugal's favor. Congratulations, Portugal. The tiebreaker was 7-4. Not bad. So Portugal taking 4th place in this group. And Romania should be out of the running. Let's actually check. They have 3 match wins and a -1 duel difference. Although we need to check this table here, which excludes the game versus Lithuania, or the games versus Lithuania. So they are at 2 match wins and -4, and that definitely doesn't cut it. There is Taiwan, for example, and which group is done as well, and the Czech Republic. Yeah, tough for Romania here. I think they had the players, or have the players, to win a duel against Portugal, but weren't able to do so today. And that's tough, but it happens. So let's actually check what's on the calendar in the next 24 hours. So there's Japan, United States, as you can see over here. It's in the middle of the night, my time zone. And I rather need some sleep because tomorrow there is this here where I have to participate and really like to be or to bring my A game. So I really need to sleep. I think Alexei mentioned he might cover this. I hope he does, because I'd really would like to see this match. This is Group E, where the US or Japan with a win would take down the first place in this group. And if we just take a quick look, let me actually increase the size here. This is a closer match than, or could be a closer match than one might expect if you just hear Japan versus US. So I'd still favor Japan, but if the US manage to win on table 3, they should have chances on tables 1, 2, and 4. Could be an interesting one. And then tomorrow we have Brazil, Vietnam. That's Group F. And later in the day, France, Argentina. The case of France versus Argentina is pretty simple. The winner... Oh, actually, it isn't pretty simple. Because these 3 teams could all still snatch the top place in this group. But what's simple is the winner of France versus Argentina would secure a playoff spot, be it the first or the second place in this group, which then is hinging on the result of Brazil-Vietnam. And then there's China-Finland battling for first place in Group A. And later on, UK-Chile battling for first place in Group D. I might cover Slovakia, Italy, and Uruguay, Poland, but I won't decide that until after RCP versus Germany. So only on short notice. Yeah, just subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to get notified. Else tune in, check. And if I'm not covering this, I guess Alexei and Otto, or more or less only Alexei due to ice hockey being played tomorrow evening, will cover this. So thanks for tuning in and sticking around. Hi Glovia, thank you. And see you next time. Bye bye.